I've never had this experience exactly of what it must be like to meet an Icelander until I met somebody from Finland. And then I started, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what's going on. There's a bit of like a resting BITCH face going on as a whole. And to not take it personally. It's not personal with us if we seem standoffish, if we seem angry. It's maybe just because, Tenerife is a little bit too far away. It's not next week, it's next month. So we're a little bit like that. There is not this great sense of hierarchy with us. Like, if you fall flat on your ass, you are just as ridiculous as, somebody from Congress or the king or whatever. We're all kind of on the same level. We've all made mistakes. We all do ridiculous things at one time or another. A friend of mine, when he came here to Iceland, he mixed up the words for eat and to pay. So when he went to pay for something, he said, I want to eat this. It was the Icelandic soccer jersey. And the person working there, speaking Icelandic, went, okay, I'm stopping everything. I want to see this. So I think, speaking again, going back to this thing about, Icelandic people being casual, not being so wrapped up in hierarchy and social whatever. If you are going to make mistakes, if you are going to make an ass out of yourself somewhere in the world, you might as well do it in Iceland, because we're not that fussed about it. I heard about somebody going on a date with an Icelandic, like a couple of Icelandic people, and this person was not from here. And the first date was with somebody, and they went to a swimming pool together, and then they went for ice cream afterwards. And that's a very sort of like wholesome first date and very Icelandic. So that's like a beautiful date. And like you mentioned, that's pretty casual.
Iceland seems to have a thing for ice cream, which I find puzzling because of the weather. It's not a country that would make you want ice cream in the winter. Like, the last thing I would want is ice cream when it's like -5.
Marina, is right there in the name, Iceland.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, you got it all wrong. Yeah, it's right. It's in the name, Iceland.
Iceland should do promotions for ice cream.
Well, no, that is it's fascinating, right? Because you do hear that and you just go, huh? No, that couldn't be the case. Maybe they like ice cream in the summertime, but then, they go every once in a while in the wintertime. No, Icelandic people, they go get ice cream like nobody's business. Go to the swimming pool. What do you do after the swimming pool? Get ice cream. What's there to do today? Nothing. We're going to drive around, get some ice cream. Grandma just died. That's horrible. That's a shame. What are we going to do? Let's go get some ice cream. It's a staple, and it really is like the Icelandic church ice cream shops.
It's like that messaging with the word Iceland. It's like there's the ice, and then makes you crave ice cream in some way or another. But
yeah, maybe it's like self-hypnosis.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. The weather's not that bad. We can go for ice cream. You want to go for ice cream? Let's go for ice cream because the weather's not that bad, right? Right?
Yeah, it's actually not that cold.
Yeah, it can't be that bad.
Like that.
Yeah,
getting really deep.
Get
ice cream.
Get ice cream. Well, I think that's a great transition, maybe because you mentioned, the last thing you want is something cold when you're cold, but something that we do crave a lot, and we have a lot of, is coffee. We drink coffee also like nobody's business, and there's a phrase for that I can teach you. We talk about just having 10 drops of coffee. Again, keeping it casual. It's not serious. It's not caffeine addiction. I'm just having literally 10 drops of coffee. But the thing is, you say that and you can have 1 cup of coffee and then another cup of coffee and then the third cup of coffee. And oh, look, it's lunchtime. I better have, you guessed it, more coffee. But, if you say 10 droppar, bara 10 dropa, and it's all fine, Marina.
Interesting. When you speak Icelandic, do Swedes and Norwegians and Danes, do they understand you?
That's a great question. I think we probably have an easier time of understanding them than they do us.
Right.
Yeah. And
even Denmark?
Oh yeah. They're the worst offenders, yeah. Don't get me started about around Denmark.
They do say that Icelanders sound like elves. Sometimes I've heard this being said.
I think that's a really lovely compliment, and no, yeah, really, I do, and that is very consistently what I hear when people talk about Icelandic, the language. They talk about how beautiful it sounds, and that yes, it does kind of sound like this elvish language.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Compared to Danish, which sounds like you're throwing up potatoes.
You said it, not me.
What are some expressions that you have in Iceland that you don't have in other countries?
Well, speaking of the language, we have to address, the unofficial motto of Icelandic people, which is "Þetta reddast." Basically, roughly translated, it means like it will all work out eventually, somehow. That's how we use it. When, the SHIT hits the fan, it's like "Þetta reddast." Icelandic weather, as you've no doubt experienced when you were here, can literally change in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I call it
So
schizophrenic weather. It's a bit.
that's very accurate. Yeah, it's very accurate. So you can imagine how schizophrenic weather would affect a group of people over centuries. It's sort of like you can't have one without the other. And so when we say "Þetta reddast" is sort of the unofficial motto of Icelandic people, that's because you do have to have that belief that everything is going to work out, because when you can't have any fixed plan, you always have to be able to adapt.
You've also mentioned you have something called window weather. What is that?
Window weather. That's a good one. Yeah. Gluggaveður is window weather. And that's this very specific thing that happens when you get your hopes up and you put your guard down and you look out the window and it looks nice outside, even though, okay, it's September and the summer was not good. And then you go out there and it is not good. It's cold. It just looked nice because it was tricking you, that schizophrenic weather, messing you all up.
So would you say that weather is your biggest dissatisfaction with your life in Iceland?
Yeah, let's dig down and really
a bit
get
of a
into,
therapist session here.
Yeah, what do you hate about your life in Iceland? Then is it the weather? I mean, it is a bone of contention for, I think, pretty much everybody who lives here. But then when you go to other places and you listen to people talk, they also like to complain about the weather there. So I think, there's the weather and there's the human condition.